Hello and welcome to Woman Who Chat. And today I'm here with Claire Roberts-Molloy. I should say award-winning Claire Roberts-Molloy. Welcome.
Thank you, Sandra. It's great to be here.
So just tell us what you do. Share with the audience what you do in business.
Oh gosh, the dreaded question, what do you do? Well, I wear quite a few hats, Sandra. So I'm a potentiality coach. So I work with women and coach them, usually women over the age of 40, to help them realise and unlock the potential that we all have deep inside, and we may have sort of kept a lid on while we've been busy doing other things like raising families and having careers. So yeah, so that's one of my big passions is coaching women. I'm also a bid and tender writer. So again, I work with SMEs predominantly to reach their growth potential as a business. And I do that by helping them to secure contracts with public sector organisations. And I've done that for, gosh, over 20 years now. So I've created quite a good business and a strong foundation around that. I'm also the founder, and this is where the award comes into, that I'm sure we'll chat about in a little while, Sandra. I'm also the founder of a charity called Periods Matter, and we're a period poverty charity, originally working in Wolverhampton, but now we've extended that reach to the whole of the Black Country.
Wow. And they always say that, if you want something doing, ask a busy person, don't they?
Yeah.
How do you juggle those different priorities? I mean, I do multiple things as well. And I have to be quite organised. I have to have separate boxes and things like that. What's your sort of organisation, or what's your strategy for managing all those different?
Well, yeah, as you say, it's all for me. You have to be organised. I always say I probably have a slightly longer working day than the average person, in that my alarm goes off at 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, but I think when you're passionate about something, you make that time, you make that commitment, don't you? So it's all about time blocking for me. So it's having blocks of time. So this is the time I'm doing this. This is the time I'm doing that. A lot of planning in my diary and my planner. So I have a planner, and I plan out each day, and I plan out my month, and my family always joke that they have to book time in with me. But, we have a family calendar with everything on, because, those are the three main things I do. But I'm also a magistrate, and I also organise and founded TEDx Wolverhampton as well. So there's a lot going on. It's a really busy diary. And if I didn't time block and organise myself, it would never all get done.
I was going to say, that's a lot of things to put in a diary, really.
Yeah.
And magistrate as well. I know that there is a time commitment there, and you have to do that. What drives you? What motivates you? What keeps you going? When you get out of bed and you look at that diary and think, oh my God, I've got all that on today. What drives you?
Well, all the things I do are things I'm passionate about. They're all things that I love, that I care very deeply about. And for me, what really drives me is we only have one life, and I want to live it to the max. And I'm one of these people, if there's something I want to do, I find a way of doing it. I don't want to be the person who, sounds morbid, but lies on my deathbed and has regrets. To make sure that I've done all those things, that I've lived a really full life, that I've had lots of fun with my family, spent lots of time with my family, had lots of adventures, but also achieved all those other things that that say are on the bucket list. Start a business, write a book, all these things so that's what motivates me.
Don't you find that people put things on a bucket list and they plant it in the future? And I've heard of so many people that have finally got to retirement, plan to do their bucket list, and then something happens and they're not able to fulfill that. And I stopped having a bucket list. I have a vision board, but I stopped having the bucket list because it does put it too far in the future, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You sort of see these things and set these goals and set these things you want to do, and then think, right, I'm going to do that now, or find a way to do it quite quickly, or
and that's precisely how I work with women. It's women who have got that one day list. And I refer to them as lingering dreams. Are these little dreams that we've had all our life, usually from childhood, of one day I'd like to do that, one day I'd like to do that. But we push them to the back, don't we? Because we think, well, they're not a priority, or if I was to do that, then I'd be selfish because I'd be having to sacrifice something else. And so yeah, that's why I love working with women over 40 because usually, you know, they say life begins at 40, don't they? And it certainly did for me, which is probably a story for another day. But yeah, you get to 40, you've raised your family, you might be getting empty nest syndrome. I'm going through that at the moment. It's a strange thing to go through. There's like a bit of a mourning period as your kids start to leave home, and you've built that career, or, you know, you've made significant progress in the career. You're like, well, what's next? What's for me? Who am I? And it's all about discovering who you are, and what's next on your journey, so that those things you do achieve, that you don't leave them in the future, that you do bring them forward. And I always say it's never too late. People go, oh, I'm too old. No, you're not. It's never too late to go out and live that dream.
Well, I can vouch for that. You know, I sort of every decade I seem to start something new or do something new, and I've got another decades behind me. So you never are too old. And I love that expression you just said, lingering dreams. It's such a great expression. That's going to stay with me. Lingering dreams. Love that. So you talked about achievements, and I think that leads us nicely into the Woman Who Achieves Awards. And you entered the Woman Who Achieves for Community and won the award. So what prompted you to enter?
Well, I had spent years seeing amazing people do amazing things and winning awards. And I was thought, oh gosh, I'd love to win an award. But I was under the impression that I almost had to wait for other people to validate me, that I had to wait for other people to nominate me. And I just, very naively didn't realise that a lot of the people out there winning awards were blowing their own trumpets. They were nominating themselves. And one day I came across something. I thought, oh gosh, people nominate themselves. Why am I waiting for external validation? You know, it's very rare that people go out there and blow your trumpet for you. So I thought, that's it. I'd seen about Woman Who Awards. I'd followed it for years. I knew lots of women who had won these amazing awards. And I thought, that's it. I'm going to put on my big girl pants and I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm just going to press submit on my application. And I think I left it to the 11th hour. As a lot of people do. And I thought, what have I got to lose? Apart from the time to fill in the application, what have I got to lose? So I pressed submit, and then came along to the interviews and didn't know what to expect. Again, rooms filled with amazing women. So that's what I did. But what year was it? 2022. My vision board for the year, I had put win an award, and that was on my vision board. And I thought, that's what I'm going to do. And to make that happen, I've got to nominate myself. So those were the action steps that I took to do that. And I ended up winning 2 awards last year, which was great. But
wow.
Yeah, I remember walking into the beautiful marquee at Combe Abbey and thinking, oh, it's okay, my award will be way down the list. And then looking at the brochure and realising it was first up, and I'd barely put my bum on the seat before my name was called. And the shock on my face, and I think that the faces of my colleagues and supporters who were with me, we just couldn't quite believe it. So it was all a surreal moment.
I tend to do the awards so they happen throughout the day, rather than I've been to so many awards events where you're there and you're hanging on and you're waiting and you can see people looking at their watches. And I just wanted to get things going straight away.
Yeah,
so
it's great.
You walk in and let's have our first award, you know.
And it was great because I didn't have time to think about it. I didn't have time to sort of build that nervousness up, and I could just enjoy the rest of the day and the afternoon. And it's great.
And now you can call yourself award-winning, double award-winning even.
Yeah.
So what's on the horizon, Claire?
Oh gosh, lots of things. Building up my coaching practice, doing lots of exciting things with that. Lots of projects and workshops and courses on the horizon for that. Going through a really busy period at the moment because of the public procurement cycle, as they say, with the new financial year and things like that. So got a lot going on there. We're starting our organisation for TEDx Wolverhampton 2023, which should be going ahead in April. So yeah, lots of things. And sort of my plans for the next year, for the next 12 months, are to host my own podcast. I think I've been a guest on lots of podcasts, and I'd love to host my own podcast. And I've been dipping my toe into writing my book for a couple of years. And yeah, so I keep dipping my toe in writing a bit, and I need to really sort of get cracking and complete that.
Fantastic. So it sounds as if you've got a busy and well-planned year ahead. I always ask my guests to share a top tip or piece of advice for the audience. What, you know, if you could share something with the audience, you know, to inspire them or motivate them, or just a business tip, what would it be?
I think as I've already said, I think it's when we have goals and when we have these lingering dreams, it's about realizing that you can't put them off for one day. Make one day today. And I think that would be my tip. If you're putting something off for one day, thinking one day I'll do that, one day I'll do that, well, make today your one day and just start. And I think they always say, the famous saying, isn't it? A journey of 1,000 steps starts with a single footstep, and make today the day that you take that first footstep. I think that's my top tip. If we just keep waiting, things will never happen. But yeah, so that would be my top tip. And I said to someone recently, they said about applying for awards. Just do it. Don't wait for external validation. Just go out there and nominate yourself, blow your own trumpet, and go out there and achieve your goals on your terms.
I love that. I love that. Well, it's been great chatting to you today. Thank you for joining me, Claire Roberts-Molloy. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.